Hey, folks, I was checking through the calendars and I saw that Max Schardt is in front of Judge McBurney with his client, and they are doing a non-negotiated plea deal. So I thought, folks, we got to hear this, we got to see this, don't we? All right. Going to play it in now I'm going to play it in normal speed. Let's enjoy this. Max Schardt in front of Judge McBurney.
And our only two arrests were the life of the father.
Let's see.
I did speak them brief last night.
Okay, I didn't know if you needed to huddle with him now before we get started.
I will.
Okay.
Just, even though we talk, I just want to make sure that you,
For some reason,
Okay.
no picture.
Great. When we're in the midst of the plea, if we've got two deputies in here, maybe they can get you back there to talk with Mr. Lemons.
Oh, this
You
is
think? Great, thank you.
okay. That was not the case. I went back too far.
Say 10 p and then I don't have objection to it.
Where did it go?
So first,
The only thing I haven't seen, Your Honor, is the indictment.
You
All
will
right.
not.
That was Mr. Short's voice. Let's go back a bit. Dun, 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 dun.
all right, are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Great, Mr. Elder, you should come on up with Mr. Schardt. Stand at the podium there.
Still
Please.
no picture. Come on, we want Max. We want Max.
The only thing I haven't seen, Your Honor, is the indictment.
You will not see it. We do electronic signatures now, but I'm going to pull the case up so that I've got it in front of me. If it's essential that you all look at it, I don't mean to deprive you of that.
No, I just wanted to sign it beforehand. if
Yeah,
possible.
we flow a little differently now. Ms. Nelson does the e-signing. Once I get on the record that everyone agrees it's okay to have her electronically signed. So if there's an objection to that, then I'll go very slowly, print it out, and
There will
you'll
be no
wait for
objection.
okay. 6250, you get the case up.
So all I heard before I started to record this was non-negotiated plea deal from Max Schardt, and yeah, clicking the record button, and maybe I should have streamed this. Oh well, now it's recording.
All right, Ms. Rivers, you ready? Great. We are going to get started. This is case 24 SC 006350, State versus Justin Elder. Mr. Elder is here in court with his lawyer, Mr. Schardt. Ms. Davis is the prosecutor handling the case. The indictment charges 2 counts of aggravated assault, 1 count of criminal damage to property, 2nd degree, and finally, a count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Mr. Elder, Mr. Schardt told me a few days ago that you were ready to enter a plea. We just needed to get everyone here into court at a time that worked, which is 1:22 on Tuesday, the 17th. Are you ready to go forward?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Davis is going to put you under oath in just a moment. Once you're under oath, you'll need to answer her questions truthfully and completely. And I need you to promise me that if you've got questions of your own, you'll let me know or Mr. Schardt so we can address those. Will you do that?
Yes, sir.
Great.
And Your Honor, just so you know, this is going to be a non-negotiated plea.
Non-negotiated plea. Okay. What that means, Mr. Elder, I'm sure your lawyer told you, but I want to see where we are in the process. It probably means 2 things. It does. So first, Ms. Davis is going to recommend something different, presumably higher, meaning more probation or more fine or more jail time than what Mr. Schardt recommends. Second thing, because you still have your final plea rights in place, I will impose whatever sentence I impose. I'm not bound by either recommendation. If the sentence I impose is materially different from what Mr. Schardt asked for, then you'll have a chance to talk with him and let me know it's not exactly what I asked for, Judge, but I'll go with it. Or, you know what, I was comfortable with what Mr. Schardt asked for. I'm not comfortable, you don't have to use these words, your sentence, Judge, so I'm withdrawing my plea. No questions asked. You don't have to check a particular box. You can just say, nope, that's not what I thought was going to happen here. And then we'll get you onto a trial calendar, which it looks like you are already on. And so I'll see you for trial if we don't work it out today. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Davis.
Mr. Elder, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you shall give in the matter before the court shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Please state your true and correct legal name.
Justin Elder,
Okay. Please spell your last name for the record.
Elder.
Are you at this time under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication?
Take medication.
What do you take medication for?
I take medication.
Well, let me ask this. It's actually none of my business what you take it for, but the medication that you take, is it something that makes you woozy or dizzy or confused when you take it?
No.
Does the medication address any mental health condition that, if untreated, makes it hard for you to understand what's going on in court?
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel like the medication is helping you understand what's going on in court?
Yes.
All right. If you have any questions about what we're doing, you'll let me know.
Yes.
Mr. Elder, how
Judge McBurney, now this is also has some legality behind it. That is why he's asking. But I do believe that he actually cares. I really, really do believe Judge McBurney actually cares.
old are you and how far have you gone in school?
36 and some college, graduated high school, did some college.
Okay, where did you attend high school?
Frederick Douglass, high school in Atlanta.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you are charged with the following offenses in indictment 24 SC 006350? Aggravated assault for count 1, count 2, aggravated assault, count 3, criminal damage to property, and count 4, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony.
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to plead either guilty or not guilty to these charges? And if you plead not guilty or remain silent, you will receive a jury trial.
Yes.
Have you had enough time to speak with your lawyer, Attorney Schardt?
Yes.
Okay. Have you discussed all the facts and circumstances known to you regarding the charges and the indictment, including any potential defenses?
That smile when she said Attorney Schardt, yeah, that was a genuine smile. And I understand why. Max is an extremely competent attorney. And to my understanding, ladies like to look at him.
Yes.
Do you need more time to discuss this case with your attorney?
No.
Are you satisfied with his services?
Yes.
Mr. Schardt, do you waive formal reading of this indictment and any and all defects therein for the purposes of this plea?
So waived.
Mr. Elder, do you remember being arrested on these charges?
Yes.
Judge, the state is unaware of any outstanding warrants related to this matter. Mr. Schardt, are you aware of any outstanding warrants related to this case?
I am not.
Mr. Elder, has your attorney advised you of the minimum and maximum sentence for each charge to which you're pleading today?
Yes.
For aggravated assault, I believe the maximum sentence is 20 years. For criminal damage to property, I believe it is 5 years. Possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony is 5 years consecutive, which means afterwards. That's the maximum.
Gotcha.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay.
So absolute maximum is 25 years.
Do you understand that if you plead guilty or enter a blind plea, also known as a non-negotiated plea, the state will still recommend a sentence to the court?
Yes.
Do you understand that the court can impose any sentence authorized by law, including a higher sentence than recommended by the state, up to the maximum sentence on each charge?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you, do Do you understand that this guilty plea will be permanently recorded on your criminal history?
Yes.
Do you understand that this plea may be used to enhance sentencing on other convictions in this jurisdiction, as well as in other jurisdictions, including federal courts?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, a guilty plea conviction will affect your immigration status and will result in deportation, just like a conviction at trial would, and that is true regardless of any advice by your attorney or anyone else?
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty to a felony, if you use, receive, possess, or transport a firearm, or use a firearm in a crime, you'll be guilty of a felony, which can carry a sentence from 1 to 15 years in prison?
Yes.
Do you understand there may be other adverse or unfavorable consequences as a result of this guilty plea conviction, just as there would be from a conviction following a trial? For example, your guilty plea may affect the right to vote, to hold public office, the right to serve in a jury, the right to obtain a passport, to receive, possess, or transport a firearm, or the ability to obtain employment.
Yes.
Do you understand that you waive any and all defenses, including any mental health defenses, by entering a plea of guilty?
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up the following rights: the right to a trial by jury,
Yes.
the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself, the right to confront witnesses against you,
Yes.
the right to the assistance of counsel hired by you or to court-appointed counsel if you cannot afford an attorney at a trial of your case,
Yes.
the right to the presumption of innocence,
Yes.
the right to testify on your own behalf and to present other evidence,
Yes.
the right to subpoena witnesses and compel the production of evidence,
Yes.
the right to have the charges against you proved beyond a reasonable doubt,
Yes.
the right to appeal if convicted of these charges after a trial.
Yes.
Do you understand that you may have only a limited right to appeal this guilty plea conviction?
Yes.
Do you understand that you only have 4 years from today for the felony charges to file a habeas corpus petition challenging the voluntariness of this guilty plea?
Yes.
Okay. How do you plead to the charges in indictment 24 SC 006350?
Guilty. Oh, sorry.
Okay, well, that's good. I understand. To all counts, aggravated assault, count 1, aggravated assault, count 2, criminal damage to property, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony.
Guilty.
Has anyone forced you, threatened you, or promised you anything to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No, ma'am.
Is it your decision to waive these rights and enter a guilty plea because you're in fact guilty?
Yes.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given with the full knowledge of charges against you?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, we believe that the state would prove at trial that on August 15, 2023, at 3178 Peachtree Road in Atlanta, Georgia.
So this guy has almost 2 years, and probably, I don't know if he has been bailed out. We will probably see that if we get a picture of it, because if he's there in in a jail suit, we know. But it's too many people in Fulton County spend years in jail, and then they plead out because prison is better than jail.
In Fulton County. This is also known as Essex, ESSEX jewelry, that the Atlanta Police Department was responding to a dispute call at the fine jewelry place. They stated, the victim stated that Mr. Elder came into the location about 10:30, arguing about a watch that he had ordered, and that he pointed a gun at Mr. Solomon Robinson, stating, "I'm not afraid of you. I don't even need my gun." He also broke a counter space that displayed jewelry and a chair, and officers responded to the scene and arrested Mr. Elder.
Okay,
The
yeah.
state's recommendation
So
was,
Mr. L, based
Okay, so in a jewelry store, this was caught on camera. So then I still wonder, why did it take 2 years to even get even close to trial? Well, we know the answer to that. The YSL trial. That trial hindered so many cases to get to trial, it's ridiculous. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cases were with defendants and victims not getting their day in court because Fani Willis decided, no, she don't give a flying crap. She does not give 2 shits on a straw. She do not care about anything than RICOs, because Ricos make her richer.
On what you understand the evidence to be, Mr. Elder was still in the store when the police got there and
Yes.
they took him into custody. He had a gun and there was a busted counter.
Yes.
Okay.
And chair.
Okay.
The state is recommending 10 years probation.
Oh,
We are requesting that Mr. Elder continue mental health treatment and any medication as required by his provider.
this cannot have been anywhere near Prosecutor Love. Nowhere near Prosecutor Love. State recommending 10 years probation is that's actually in comparison to other things we have seen. That's not much. But then again, with a maximum of 25 in prison, yeah, it actually could be much worse.
That he complete an anger management course, that he pay $500 for restitution for the damages done to Essex Fine Jewelry, and that he remain gainfully employed since he does have a high school degree
Okay. And some college.
in college.
Okay. I got that. Ms. Jackson, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Do you have any criminal history information for Mr. Elder?
There are no prior arrests, Your Honor.
All right.
No
Thank you so
priors.
much. And I think that's it for you today. My sense is that, well, actually, if you don't mind.
So we heard before that he's now on medication and we can, by that, we can almost certainly say that there is some mental issues in the background. And now, if he's on medication, he is doing better or good. Yeah, probation is probably very, very good with these conditions. I'm surprised. Are we really in Fulton County? I don't know who the prosecutor is for this specific case, but it's not Prosecutor Love. We can be damn sure about that.
Sticking around just in case Mr. Lemons wants to resolve his, well, does he have new charges? And the new charges are the basis for the revocation?
Correct.
Okay.
The charges are before us.
Yeah. So if you don't mind sticking around, if we get into the revocation hearing, you should peel off and go do all the many other things you need to do. But stranger things have happened. So he may come out here and say, you know what, I just want to resolve everything. And then it would be very helpful to have you around.
No problem, Your Honor.
Thanks. Okay. Mr. Schardt.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. I'm a big fan of Justin Elder, not just because
He hired you.
he hired me, but because he's really why we do this work. Mr. Elder had some issues going on and that I'm going to get into, but I think as I hope to convey to the court, he's addressed these issues and has turned things around. First of all, he's 36 years of age and he is absolutely blessed, and he realizes this. He's blessed with family support. His mother's back there. His father's been at court dates supporting him as well.
Does he live with family, or they are just local and help out when help is needed?
He did live with family. I don't believe he's living with family now, but he was living with family. I'm going to talk to you a little bit if assuming Your Honor will allow me eventually to talk about what was going on around 2020. And he really leaned on family around that time. He's a father of two. That he's graduated high school. He grew up just like any of us and went to school and had dreams, and he got involved in the film industry. He's a set lighting tech. So when Georgia started attracting the film industry, he was very involved. He was gainfully employed. Fast forward to 2020, just probably to be more accurate, around 2018, as tends to happen with men, some men, in her 20s, late 20s, mental health started creeping in. He had a mental health diagnosis. He's schizoaffective disorder, bipolar. And the bottom line is in 2020, a couple things happened. We all became socially isolated to some extent, and the film industry shut down here. And that was very tough on him. He had his mental health. He wasn't getting treatment for his mental health at that point. And things were kind of spiraling out of control. His marriage broke down. He was married before. His marriage broke down during this time as well. So just to correct a couple things, to be honest with the court, he does have at least one other prior arrest. And these are all around this time frame. He was arrested for fighting with his father when his father actually called the police to try to get him some help. And he was arrested for hitting his father with an object. This situation, from my understanding, Your Honor.
This situation meaning the jewelry store or
Yes.
the father's situation?
No, I just wanted to clear up that he does have and he received PTI for that. I represent him on that.
Okay.
And he
You
received
know you were
PTI.
there for
Yes.
the court.
Yeah.
It was
And-
a felony case?
No, that was a misdemeanor.
Okay.
And also, Your Honor, we had this situation. Obviously, a mental health defense, there was mental health involved. My understanding of what happened in this case is Mr. Elder was confused in his mental health. He entered some sort of business deal that he can't really fully understand why he would have entered at this point, but it involved selling this watch to get money to pay this other man to become business partners with, really, when you think about it now, a business that didn't make any sense. And the other person backed out of this deal, and he became convinced in his mind that the store was in cahoots with this other individual.
Because they wanted the watch.
Because they wanted the watch. And
What kind of watch is this?
it was a nice watch, I believe.
It was a Rolex Sky Dweller.
Where did you get that?
Oh.
I bought it at another jewelry store in Buckhead.
With money earned from the film industry?
Yes, sir.
When times were good?
When times were good.
Okay, and so it represented a fair amount of money that you could then sell to a jewelry store to pull that cash back,
So
invest in whatever this
Yes, sir.
deal wasn't.
That's what happened, and it just went all wrong, and I wasn't really thinking right. Like he said, the catalyst for this was when my family broke up.
Family meaning your wife and
Wife and kids.
your nuclear family. Okay.
We have a 15-year-old son together. Been together since high school.
You and his mom had been together since high school.
Yes.
Yeah, folks, mental health is really, really important. In Georgia, the main mental health hotline number is 988. This will connect you. This will connect you to the self-ending and crisis lifeline. It's 24/7. You can also get access assistance through a chat on 988lifeline.org. 988, as in the numbers, lifeline.org. Get this. Yeah, 988. Call 988, mental health hotline number, or go to 988lifeline.org. Because, as Mr. Schardt said, mental health issues in adult males tend to creep up. During my line of work in labor and employment, we see it. We see it from time to time. A person who starts in the workforce, works hard, everything goes well, but then all of a sudden, somewhere between 25 and 30, something is off. We see it. We see it. And you, if you are a friend of somebody that you notice this of, you can also call these numbers, because we as individuals often don't have the training. Even though we mean well, we don't always have the training. So seek counseling yourself on how to approach this, because it is a very, very sore subject. It is a very, very delicate subject. So please, if you have somebody, family, colleagues, friends, and you notice there's something weird going on here, this person is not himself, and it's been going on for some time, call your local hotline, ask for advice. And if you yourself are noticing this is strange behavior from me, call your local hotline, mental health hotline. All right, let's get back to Mr. Schardt here.
You can let Mr. Schardt tell the story if he knows it. You don't have to do the talking.
Get it out.
Okay.
We were married for like 6 years. Had a brand new house together. Ended up staying there for a little while. I sold it, bought another brand new house, got it built. 3 months into that, she cheated. So separated. And things just kind of went downhill from there.
Oh,
Like,
fuck me.
I'm not no troublemaker. I never, I always just been work, take care of the family. And when that went off, things just got out of hand. And since then, like my family's been there. Even when times that I didn't know I had a problem. I didn't know, until I actually started getting in trouble. And it's just back to back. And I'm at home talking to myself and just seeing things that weren't there. And they finally got me help. I did some inpatient for 30 days. And, they helped me to realize I had a problem. I got on medication. Once I'd been on medication, it kind of just hit me like, do you realize like all this stuff that happened? Like, and ever since then I got out, I've been back to work.
What kind of work are you doing now?
Still in film.
Okay.
And yeah, like from the month that I got out, my coworkers, they knew I was going through some things. They kind of embraced me back after I got my help. And I just been working since,
Are your kids present in your life?
Yes, I see them every day.
Good. Their mom is living her life, but you're able to see your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They actually live like 5 minutes from me.
Okay. Good. How old? You mentioned you have a 15-year-old.
My son's 15, my daughter's 7.
Okay.
So, and thank you, Justin, for that. So essentially what happened is throughout these, there was clearly a problem, and his family was able to get him into Southern Live Oak Wellness, where he did a 30-day inpatient. And since this time, he's been seeing a psychiatrist, receiving medication, been clear-minded, been doing very well. I made sure that I asked about this because I think it's a relevant question, making sure that there's no firearms around when he's struggling for mental health or was struggling, and there's no firearms in the house or anything like that anymore. And he's just been doing really well, and he's getting back to work and putting things together again. So yeah, I mean, this is who he is, and he feels blessed, but is ready also to turn the page. The state has requested 10 years probation. And I understand that. I understand that this was certainly would have been a scary situation if I was in that store. But at the same time, and just so Your Honor knows, I did recommend Mr. Elder for behavioral health treatment court, but they actually determined from what they told me that because he was in treatment and doing so well, that he wasn't really their target
Right.
anymore.
He may be high needs, but he's not high risk right now because he is managing through the help of medication and therapy and whatnot, his conditions.
So, I'm glad he's doing well. I was just surprised that he was doing too well, that he couldn't avail himself to those services, but he was interested in that. But I think that it's certainly something that he wishes to take responsibility for, with the understanding that there was mental health involved. I'm going to ask Your Honor, first of all, to consider sentencing him as a first offender. He is eligible. And also, Your Honor, I would ask that you would consider a 3-year probated sentence in this matter.
Got it. Ms. Davis, were you able, or someone?
Yeah, I mean, either is better than I anticipated, but with his story and his recovery and how he's doing now, I understand why the state is not going for prison time, because it really, really wouldn't make anything better for anybody. Now, also, this is why I'm quite certain Miss Love is nowhere near this case, because as you know, she sacrifices baby lambs each morning to Satan. And for you who don't understand sarcasm, that was sarcasm or irony. Or it might be true. I don't know. I don't know Miss Love, and I have no plans of getting to know her. But yeah, so 10 years or 3 years probation, well, I think it's 3-year probation, which is extremely light for this, is probably the best outcome. But I don't think a 10-year probation would matter as long as he sticks to his program. So I actually don't mind either, as long as he stays on the course.
On your team able to contact either Mr. Latson or Mr. Robinson to see their perspective on how this should play out?
Oh, yes, Judge. I did speak with them. That's how I was able to obtain the restitution amount, but they knew that it was a mental health issue. And so their only concern was for him to get help. And that's why my offer was a probated sentence.
Got it. So it has their input and really their seal of approval.
I forgot. She's the actual prosecutor.
And somehow the restitution just comes out to 500, or they said it's more than that?
Yeah, it says more than that, but they would accept
500.
Yeah.
Okay. It was just an awfully round number for what was
Very
described,
convenient number.
but it rounded down, which is to Mr. Elder's benefit. Okay. Thank you for that.
And just for the record, I discussed that with Mr. Elder, and he thought it would be more. So,
Maybe another zero attached.
so he was okay with that amount,
Okay.
and we're fine with that.
Okay. Got it. All right. Mr. Schardt, do you authorize someone in my office to sign the indictment electronically on your behalf?
I do.
Ms. Davis, can we do that for you?
Yes, Judge.
And Mr. Elder, is it okay if we electronically sign your name indicating your guilty plea on the indictment?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Davis, first offender hadn't come up when you were talking and I was asking you questions. Mr. Schardt has asked for that. What's the state's position on that?
I don't have an objection to it.
Okay. Mr. Elder, first offender is something you qualify for. That means you don't already have a felony conviction. It's primarily an opportunity. It means that if I sentence you as a first offender, even though you're under sentence, you do not have a conviction. So you don't have to suddenly report to work and say, hey, I need to let you know I'm a convicted felon. If you decide to go back to college, you don't have to check that box that says I'm a convicted felon. If you apply for other jobs, you don't have to check the box that says convicted felon, because you're not. And if you successfully complete your sentence, you remain not a felon, and you can have it all expunged at the appropriate time. That's the benefit. It does carry a risk. And that risk is if you, for whatever reason, stop taking care of yourself, go off the medications, don't get the therapy, and start succumbing to some of what you were working through in 22, 23, even though that might explain what's going on in your life, it will not excuse that conduct. And if you're arrested again, for example, pulling a gun on someone, you'll have a new case, but you'll also come back here and you'll have a hearing. Mr. Schardt will be here. But if I find that you let things slip and it was something that you ought to be held liable for, I can resentence you. So it's not just a revocation, but I revoke your first offender. And there's some big numbers involved in this case. 50 years, 20 plus 20 plus 10. I'm not saying I'd revoke 50 years, but I am saying, and you need to hear this clearly, that if we're together again in a year or 18 months or 6 months, and you got arrested and it involved you pulling a gun on someone or having a gun, or just doing something that you know when you're taking care of yourself is the wrong thing to do, we'll probably be talking about revoking your first offender and resentencing. And Mr. Schardt can still put his arm around you and say, I really like Mr. Elder, but it's going to be a different setting. It's going to be one where I believe you knew better and you chose not to take care of yourself. You know, this first time around, you were experiencing it for the first time and you're not quite sure what's happening to me. You hadn't benefited from family help and professional help, but now you have, and you know what you need to do to keep that at bay. And if you choose not to do that and you get in trouble again, then there'll be consequences that'll take you out of commission for a while. And I just need to make sure you understand that first offender mostly is an uplifting thing. There's a trap door in it, and the fall from it is pretty far because you will have not lived up to your commitment, which is, you know what, this was my one-time mess up, and I'm not going to ever do something like this again. And first offender is perfectly appropriate for someone like you. You just need to tell me you understand the risk that's involved so that when we come back, if we do come back, and I hope we don't, you don't say, well, wait, what are you talking about? Sentencing me to 15 years because I pulled a gun on someone again. And that's not for the new charges. That's for this, because I'll have decided it's not safe. It is not safe for you to be out and about because you stop taking the meds and then you hear something and you're like, I'm going to go try to get my watch back or whatever it is you do. You can go do something to your kid's mom. And we need to, of course, keep everyone, including you, safe. And we all read all too often what happens when someone is in a moment of mental health crisis and has a weapon and law enforcement gets involved and they say, put that gun down, and you don't, and you head towards them. We don't have a case anymore. We have a casket. And so there are all sorts of reasons why you need to be real careful about this. Do you think you understand how first offender works?
Yes.
Okay.
I understand the benefits and the seriousness of it.
Okay.
Don't do right.
And you think that first offender makes sense for you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Elder, I find there's a factual basis for your plea. It sounds pretty clear to me what happened in August of 2023, and that while it was physically you, it might not have been mentally the Mr. Elder who's right here right now, but it was you. I suspect those two men were pretty scared when that was going down. And you got pretty rough in there breaking the stuff up. Fortunately, no one pulled any trigger. And of course, they could have been the ones pulling the trigger. And it's, hey, we're just defending our property. And you've got a real sad family and no recourse. So factual basis, I find. I also find that your plea is knowing and voluntary. Voluntary meaning no one's forcing you to enter this plea. And knowing meaning that you've understood the things we talked about. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm sentencing you pursuant to the Probation Options Management Act, which means simply that while you're on probation, if you have a minor violation, you miss a meeting or something like that, you and probation will solve that. You don't have to come see me. But if you get arrested or it's anything serious like that, that comes back in front of me, and then we go down that path that you don't want to go down. I will sentence you as a first offender. I think that is appropriate for you, your circumstances, and this case. So looking at your indictment. Oops, wrong case. Here we are. On count one, I am sentencing you to 1 year, count 2 is 1 year, and count 3 is 1 year. Those will all run concurrently with each other. Count 4 has to run consecutive and has to be 5 years. So it's a total sentence of 6 years. I am probating all 6 years, so it's 6 years probation. Special condition number 1 is that you maintain your mental health treatment to include both medication and counseling, therapy, whatever we call it. If you're meeting with a medical professional, you continue to do that at whatever cadence that doctor says. If it's once a week, once a month, 3 times a day, whatever that doctor's telling you. And you don't get off the medication without a doctor saying, oh, you know what, we're going to switch this one up because these side effects aren't so good, or we can taper this one a bit. Doctor's orders are my orders.
Yeah, 6 years is a good middle ground. As I said earlier, I would have been good with both 3 and 10 years probation, because I think the alternative would have been Ms. Love prosecuting and prison time. So, and I hope that this gentleman, with the help of his family, well, except his cheating ex, and his medical, his psychiatrist, and hopefully Mr. Schardt, that they can help him through these years it takes. And maybe he can come back in 4 years, I believe, and ask for an early expunge. So I really, really hope he pulls through this.
Okay. Number 2, you will enroll in and complete an anger management course. 3, you'll pay $500 restitution. That will be payable to Essex Jewelry. You don't go back there. You don't pay them anything. You'll be paying probation. They'll get the money to Essex Jewelry. 4, you're going to stay away from Essex Jewelry. Even though they may still have your watch, someone else would need to go get that watch. You don't ever set foot in that jewelry store. And then finally, that you maintain gainful employment, or you're a full-time student. So if you go back to college, then you don't need to be working. If you're not in college, then you should be working. I will request, I can't order it, but I will request that Department of Community Supervision, that's probation, that they assign to you what we call a mental health probation officer. That's someone who is trained in being attuned to the needs you might have, making sure you're taking your medication, knowing what that medication is and what side effects are, and getting a sense of whether you're not taking it, and just being more supportive in that space. So I hope they do that. I just can't command them to do that. Finally, I will set a behavioral incentive date of June 18th of 2028. What that means is if 3 years from now, you've done everything we're all hoping you'll do, you've paid the restitution, you're staying on your medications, you're working hard, all that. If probation says things have been going well, then you and Mr. Schardt can say, let's close this out early. And if things have gone well, that's probably what I'll do, because probation has folks who are a real pain in the rear to supervise. And if you are not being that way, why do they need to be bugging you? Because you're not bugging them. But that just means you need to be available for them when they need to talk to you. You do all the things that they need you to do. I think I covered everything. Mr. Schardt, anything else on behalf of Mr. Elder?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Davis, anything on behalf of the state?
No, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Elder, do you have any questions for me? The sentence that I imposed is actually double what Mr. Schardt asked for. It's less than what the state asked for. Unsurprisingly, I'm somewhere in between. So you and Mr. Schardt should talk, because you, like I told you at the outset, have the ability to say, you know what, I was willing to do the 3 years probation, but not more, and so I'd rather go to trial. So why don't you guys talk, and then Mr. Schardt can let me know what you want to do.
Yeah, just say yes. Just say yes.
What's the word?
We have conferred and Mr. Elder wishes to accept the court's sentence.
Okay. Tell me what county you live in.
Fulton.
All right. Ms. Simpson, who is seated right there in the jury box, is with probation. She will not be your probation officer, but she is right now your probation guide. So chat with her. She's going to give you reporting instructions. And if she doesn't already have your contact information, she's going to need to get that so she can get it into their system. And you do not want to miss that first day where you report to probation. It's about 2 blocks from here. She's going to give you the address, but that's maybe the only time you have to show up in person. There may be more, but you will definitely need to be there for that. Otherwise, you started out on the wrong foot because they're going to take out a warrant saying, where's this elder guy? So make sure you make that first meeting. Okay. All right. Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
All right. Good job, Max Schardt and Mr. Elder. On behalf of me and my audience, good luck. Best. We all wish the absolute best for you. And let me repeat what I said earlier. If you know that you're experiencing a mental health crisis, the number in Georgia is 988. That is the number, the mental health crisis number. Or you can go to 988lifeline.org and where you can chat with somebody. These also are where you, as a friend, family, or colleague, if you notice this with a colleague or a family member or a friend, get in touch with 988. Ask advice what you can do. Because as I said earlier, many of us don't know. We simply don't have the training to know what to do. If you do, that's excellent. But if you don't, these mental health helplines, these can be used by you as well. Oh, this was not what I expected when I hit the record button, but I'm so happy I did. I am so happy I did. Max, you are a good human being, despite what Doug says. All right, thank you for tuning in, and yeah, I will see you in the next stream or video. Okay, see ya. Bye-bye.